What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you on Lucid. I want to give you an overview of what happened today, go over some of the data points, what shorts did, and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So Lucid did close 4.43% in the green. So 2 consecutive green days. Round of applause once again for Lucid for that. 48.2 million shares being traded. 44.05 is the average. Throughout the trading day, you do see a lot of algorithmic trading right here, so just a lot of the barcoding, so AI trading in among themselves, I guess. But these are some of the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. So you see a lot more bigger money getting in today. So that's kind of a good thing overall. So 5.21 million was a good one done after hours, 1.35 million. But regardless though, you do see that very big spike first thing, and that was just more of a byproduct from Friday. So a carryover of optimism, and that's from the S&P hitting a record high. So a lot of the bigger institutions out there were scouring the market for value plays. And I obviously don't need to tell you guys that the whole EV sector has been slammed for a while now. And some could say too much. So I feel like this is what caused that whole EV sector and a lot of other growth stocks to have a very nice pop up, which was kind of short-lived. Obviously shorts doubled down, and I'm going to talk on all of that. Today though, there was no news from Lucid, no SEC filings, nothing like that. Rather, there was a rumor, so you can kind of see Sultan saying that there's some rumors being circulated out of Saudi Arabia. This guy adds a little bit more context, saying that it's just a subsidiary offering leasing options or solutions from, I guess, Saudi Arabia. Because obviously, if you think about it, there has been nothing coming out about that, right? Because it took Lucid a while to even come out with this. So June 2022, Lucid did unveil that Bank of America was going to be named for the States. And I don't know if that did extend to Canada or not, but I know for sure the States, Bank of America was allowing leasing. And I have done videos in the past where I do point out the fact that leasing does incentivize roughly about 10% of, I guess, willing buyers to really commit to sales, if that makes sense. So leasing, even though it's not for everyone, it does add more sales at the end of the day, and that's more revenue for us as investors and for Lucid itself. And then over and above that though, this was announced in October, the fact that Lucid did launch Lucid Financial Services in Germany. Oddly enough, when this came out, I was under the impression that Bank of America was going to be I guess servicing Lucid as a whole. Until this came out, I didn't realize, and I read the fine print that Bank of America was only doing like the States. Well, they keep saying North America, but I have yet to see anything from Canada for that, because I don't think Bank of America is through, or I guess works in Canada. But aside from that though, clearly they service Europe and now North America, but nothing from Saudi Arabia. So that is clearly just the rumor. Maybe there might be some PR coming out associated to that. I don't know if that would be a big catalyst. Obviously it would bring in and drive more sales, but is it a reason to go out and buy Lucid? I don't know. It's up to you guys to make that determination, because I am not a financial advisor. But again, potentially that might be the next thing coming out. As far as what shorts did, surprisingly enough, they are still doubling down with Lucid closing green. So 1.79 million shares were increased today. 29.44% of the free float is being shorted. So another record high for Lucid. So kind of Lucid's short interest is, I guess, maybe equal weight to the S&P. I'm not really sure, but 260.56 million shares are being shorted right now. Cost to borrow average is 25.35%, and still similar to my last update, there is 0 shares available to be shorted. So a lot of interesting stuff coming out from shorts, and based on the technicals, as I've said in the past, the Elliott wave did actually point to Lucid going higher, and it did project for it to go anywhere between about 297 to 301. So today I think it did have 296 or 297 as far as the high, if I remember. So 296. So I feel like this is kind of a check mark essentially for it to be completed, and this did come out when it was around 250. So technically technicals for Lucid are starting to look a little bit better, but once again, once I go over some very strong support and resistance points, it'll make a little bit more sense why it did bounce off of this right here. Moving on though, there has been no recent analyst ratings, as you can kind of see right here. So the last one was done, I think, 6 days ago, and that was R.F. Lafferty, Jamie Perez, who does have a 23% success rating, so not the best by any means, and a $5 price target. So That's kind of a good rating if you think about it from these prices on a return on investment, but still bigger picture, I'm sure a lot of people do have higher averages than $5. Even in I have Lucid in 2 different accounts. One is, I think, $5.15. The other one is with my recent purchase at $3 because of my options. I think that brings it down to maybe like, I don't know, I don't know, probably $350 or something like that. But moving on though, talking on options. So $1.19 million in calls being purchased versus 690,000 in puts. Sentiment wise, kind of evenly divided today, similar to what happened yesterday, or I guess on Friday, but 48% of all the options being done today were bearish. Of the call options that are being purchased, a lot more optimism, and you can kind of tell that based on this. So you can see that people are anticipating for this to go up to about $3.50 or $4. Keep in mind, as I've said in the past, sometimes looking at calls can be misleading because shorts do frequently hedge with call options. So it's kind of hard to tell who is actually buying it and for what purpose. For puts though, it is anticipated for it to be sub 250, so still the same level of bearishness for that. When it comes to what happened today, so with it closing at $2.83, it is trading between this pivot point and this R1. So $2.76 is going to be that next strong support that you really want to watch for it to hold. Vice versa, $2.95. And so with it bouncing off of that today, so the high was again $2.96, so it bounced off of that, trended down and consolidated. Typically for technicals though, once it does consolidate, it will attempt again. So that's something for you to watch for in the next couple of days, is this to be retested of this R1. If it does fail, this is where you'll see a retracement back into this S1. So a lot of interesting things are coming down the pipeline for Lucid. Hopefully good future guidance is also being prepared for their upcoming earnings. Lucid, or I guess Peter, is hopefully prepping himself for a lot of difficult questions, no doubtably from a lot of analysts, because like I said, I'm sure all these analysts are going to be jumping on board and asking questions, 1, 2, or maybe even 3 questions, and Peter has to be ready, right? He can't just kind of talk on technology is amazing, and that can't be the answer to everything, right? Even us as retail investors, we have to think logically about the questions that we are going to be posing to management, not necessarily just like, what did you eat for lunch, or what is your plan for next year? No, like they have to give future guidance, and like we have to think about that, right? Because no matter what, they are going to give future guidance. So us asking that is not really important. Like we have to ask questions that they're not going to bring up, such as ESS, that random ass truck, what the hell was that for? Gravity, well, I'm sure they're going to be talking on the gravity as well, but still, like, you guys get my thought pattern on that. But quickly going over here, number of retail investors are getting in today. So based on the volume, you see both big money and retail getting in, so that's generally a good thing. Stochastic, you do see a deviation starting to form, so black line above the red, showing a underlying bullish sentiment, but you still do see it at 7, so that is considered oversold. So like I said at the very beginning though, big money is going to be scouring the broader market for a lot of these value plays that is extremely oversold. So that could be something that comes into play. So you might see a quick pop or 2 with Lucid, because even going back over here, looking at the latest Morningstar report, it does show the fair market value being $6.50. So obviously institutions will be really looking at Lucid just based on the assets alone should exceed the price of this. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing I just wanted to share with you, take advantage of this promo as I've been sharing with you. Simply sign up for an account with Moomoo, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So link is in the description below and also the comments. Take advantage of this promo. It is a no-brainer. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.